The strangest part is that the tiebreak did not feel like an upset while it was happening. It felt like a test. Center court, July 4, 2026. Grass worn down near the baselines. Afternoon light sitting heavy over the All England club. A defending Wimbledon champion on one side, a 2-1-year-old Filipina on the other, and a first-set tiebreak that kept refusing to end. At 5-2, it looked like Alexandra Eala had taken control. Then Iga Swiatek came back. Set point arrived, then another. The building held its breath. And this is where the title matters. Rafael Nadal was not standing inside the court. There is no verified post-match Nadal quote to pretend otherwise. But his tennis shadow was everywhere. Because Eala has trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy since she was 13. And this was the kind of pressure moment that Academy is built to produce. 2 set points saved. 1 tiebreak stolen, 11-9. 1 champion suddenly exposed. 1 country suddenly louder than center court itself. The conversation has changed category. If you have been in this corner since Miami 2025, when a 19-year-old wildcard beat Swiatek 6-2, 7-5, this channel was built for you. We are the room where the people who saw it first come to understand what is happening next. Match by match, tournament by tournament. Subscribe and stand with the Filipino army that has been right about this story from the very beginning. Before center court erupted, there was already history under this match. On March 26, 2025, Eala beat Swiatek in the Miami Open quarterfinals, 6-2, 7-5. That was not just a good week. It was the night she entered the serious tennis conversation. Then came Madrid, April 24, 2025, when Swiatek answered back on clay, winning 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 after Eala had taken the first set. So by the time Wimbledon placed them across the net again, this was not a novelty. It was a rivalry with receipts. Then came July 2, 2026. Eala came from behind against Maya Joint, 3-6, 6-2, 6-0, becoming the first player from the Philippines to reach the 3rd round of a Grand Slam. 2 days later, she walked into the round of 32 against the defending Wimbledon champion. The establishment saw the 3 seed, the defending champion, the 6-time Grand Slam winner. Filipino fans saw something else. They saw the left-hander from Quezon City, who had already beaten elite names, already carried national pressure, already learned that the court does not care how small your tennis country is. And when she arrived on center court as the 29 seed, the question was not whether she belonged. The question was whether Swiatek could still push her out. The first break came early. Swiatek struck first for 2-1 with the kind of forehand pass that usually tells the opponent, "This is still my stage." But Eala's answer came immediately. No panic, no retreat. She used a high moonball return to pull Swiatek out of rhythm, then finished the sequence with an angled passing shot after Swiatek came forward. It was not just power. It was tactical disrespect, the clean kind. The kind that says, "I know where you want to stand, and I will move you from there." By 5-3, Eala had broken again. The first set was in her hands. Then the champion appeared. Swiatek found 3 straight forehand winners, pulled herself out of danger, and leveled at 5-5. That was the moment the match could have tilted forever. Against most young players, it does. You serve for the set against a champion, miss the door, and suddenly the court feels twice as big. But Eala did not shrink. At 6-6, the tiebreak became a psychological audit. Who trusted her legs? Who trusted her hands? Who trusted the shot under pressure? Eala raced to 5-2 with relentless returning. Swiatek answered with 4 straight points and reached set point. The stadium went quiet in that special Wimbledon way. Not dead, not cold, just suspended. That silence is the loudest sound in the building. Then Eala saved it with an unreturned serve. Another set point came. Swiatek missed the forehand. Then finally, on Eala's 4th set point, Swiatek mishit long. 84 minutes were gone. The first set belonged to the Filipina, 7-6-9. Eala later gave the simplest possible explanation in press. 1 point at a time. That is not an opinion. That is a conclusion. Under maximum pressure, She reduced the moment until it became playable. The second set was where the match changed from drama into statement. Eala broke early. Then, she held with aces. Then she broke again with passing shots that punished Swiatek's attempts to shorten points at the net. While Swiatek was trying to escape the baseline, Eala was turning every forward step into a trap. One player defending her image. One player carrying a country. At 4-0, Swiatek finally pushed back. She grabbed one break, then forced Eala into a 6-deuce final service game. This mattered, because this was the last real door back into the match. Swiatek saved one match point with a backhand winner. Eala saved 4 breakback points. Every point felt like a negotiation with history. Then the final ball arrived. Forehand winner. Her 24th winner of the match. Eala dropped the champion 7-6, 9, 6-2, and became the first Filipina to reach the second week of a Grand Slam. Even Swiatek understood what had happened. In her post-match comments reported by Reuters, she said Eala was brave enough to play faster when the tiebreak tightened. That is the entire match in one sentence. Eala did not wait for Swiatek to lose. She made her lose. The box score says Eala hit 24 winners and 21 unforced errors, while Swiatek hit 32 winners, but 44 unforced errors. That is useful, but it does not explain the match. The real story is where the errors came from. Eala did not simply outlast Swiatek. She made Swiatek hit low percentage balls from uncomfortable positions. The key pattern was return pressure. Eala stepped inside the baseline when she could, especially on second serve, and refused to let Swiatek begin neutral rallies. On grass, that matters more than almost anywhere else. A return that lands deep on grass does not just take time away. It takes balance away. Then came the passing shot trap. Swiatek tried to counter Eala's baseline pressure by moving forward, but she won only 9 of 20 net points. That was not random. Eala's left-handed angles made Swiatek volley from awkward positions, then opened the sideline for passing shots. The serve was also different from the old criticism. Eala hit 4 aces and won 55% of second serve points, compared with Swiatek's 32% behind second serve. For a player whose serve has often been viewed as the attackable part of her game, that is a serious grass court signal. Historically, this sits beside the kind of early career breakthrough that changes how a locker room reads a name in the draw. It is not a slam title. It is not yet a semifinal, but it is a Grand Slam win over the defending champion on center court. The honest risk? Paolini will not give Eala the same rhythm. She redirects pace better, defends lower, and makes opponents hit one extra ball under stress. Eala's next test is not belief. It is patience. This was not only a tennis match. This was representation, arriving on the sport's most traditional lawn and refusing to ask permission. Reuters had already captured the fan presence 2 days earlier, with supporters taking photos as Eala celebrated the Maya joint comeback. The WTA reported large crowds following her at Grand Slams, drawn not only by her fearless tennis but also by the way she carries herself. That matters because Filipino sport has usually had to find global attention through boxing, basketball, or Olympic weightlifting. Tennis was different. Tennis had gates. Tennis had geography. Tennis had money, academies, travel, surfaces, rankings, and silence. Then a girl from Quezon City walks onto Wimbledon grass with Tagalog on her kit, kapag lumago, hindi na hihinto, meaning once it grows, it cannot be stopped. And suddenly the barrier looks smaller. For UK-based Filipino NHS workers, this is the clip watched between shifts. For Gulf OFWs, it is the late-night score refresh before another early morning. For US-based Filipinos, Australian balikbayans, and families in Manila, it is the same message traveling through different time zones. One of ours is here. The human story is not a fictional nurse with a perfect quote. It is the anonymous fan with a phone raised at the All England Club, trying to hold proof that this actually happened. A 13-year-old in Manila watching on a phone does not just see a player. She sees a route. Next is Jasmine Paolini, the No. 13 seed and 2024 Wimbledon finalist. She reached this round by beating Maria Sakkari 6-1, 6-2 inches, just 66 minutes. conceding only 11 points on serve and winning 10 of 12 points at net. That is dangerous because Paolini does not need chaos to win. She can turn defense into pressure and pressure into scoreboard damage. The best-case scenario is clear. Eala's return position stays aggressive. Her lefty forehand controls the first strike, and she forces Paolini to defend too much on grass. The challenge scenario is just as real. Paolini absorbs pace, drags rallies wider, and makes Eala overhit while chasing the historic quarterfinal. My bold prediction is this: if Eala beats Paolini, the entire bottom half of the Wimbledon draw has a problem, because the win over Swiatek will no longer look like a single shock. It will look like a warning label. The next chapter is not, can Eala survive? The next chapter is, who can stop her before belief becomes momentum? Here is the question dividing the Filipino tennis community. Was the Swiatek win the biggest single victory in Philippine tennis history, or does Eala still need a quarterfinal or semifinal run before we call it that? Argue it properly in the comments. Use history, use context, use standards, and subscribe, because this channel is covering every match, every press conference, every tactical shift, and every development in this Eala story while the rest of the tennis world tries to catch up.